Welcome everyone. How are we doing? Everyone having a good week? What day is it? It's Monday. Everyone having a good start to the week? Got a couple of bits to talk about today. Nothing really super planned. I've got a quote to do that I want to send off to the customers soon, so we'll do that first, I reckon, if that's all right with everyone. And then take it from there, really. Nothing too serious. Hello, Jake. You okay? Shane, how's it going? Got a little bungalow to quote today. Just been to see it this afternoon, and it's hot. It's so hot. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sit in this room with the fans on the PC, the door closed, the lights on. There's a small window, small crack in the, and that's the only bit of airflow I've got, and it's getting so hot. Hello, Mitchell. How we doing? I'm doing fairly well. I'm doing all right. It's been a hard day. I've been landscaping today. Do you remember the last couple of videos when I said stay in your lane? Pick one or two services and stick with those. Yeah, I've been landscaping today. It's for family though, and it's going to be a great video. Like next week's video is going to be better than this week's video, which was a rush. I put it together very quickly at 1 o'clock this morning to try and get it out by 5:30. Like I didn't really have much, there wasn't any flow to it. I didn't have much, like there was no premise. I was just sort of recording what I was doing through the day, and I don't know if people like those videos better, or it just felt like super low effort when I put the video out, but I put a lot of work into it still. It just didn't feel like it flowed or made much sense, but I've had a few comments saying it's good. So currently sat on the side of the road. Van's broken down. At least I got the entertainment whilst I wait. No way. What's wrong with the van? Do you know? What are the symptoms? Maybe we can help you in real time. Work is starting to come back in, Jake. Yeah. I've literally just had a message. I've just been to do a quote this afternoon after the work I've done today. I did a quote at 5 PM, and then I sat down for dinner, and I had another message come through from someone else asking for a quote, although she hasn't got back to me yet. People like to ask for like a rough price, so that they're either not wasting their own time or trying not to waste your time as well. And like I get it, I understand, but you can't just give like a generic rough price without, one, the address, and two, pictures and stuff. So I can either do that remotely, or I can go out at some point in the next few days and quote it in person. But if someone wants like a quick and dirty quote, like just like a quick price where they can decide whether they can afford it or not, they can send me pictures and their address, and I can try and do my best on Google Earth. I'm struggling at the moment, so going to start posting leaflets and see what happens. Jake, how long have you been going, mate? How long's the business been going for you? It's definitely the time of year. If you've not established yourself, if you've not got like returning customers, which I sort of do now. Some of the quotes that are coming through are recommendations from previous customers, and so they're definitely sort of carrying me through the quiet times. And if you don't have that, if you've only recently started, it's very difficult to put yourself in front of new potential clients. Is the music a bit loud? I think it might be. The AA came out, ECU problem, got it running, mile down the road it stopped again. No way. Does that mean you've got to wait for the AA again all that time? Like I know exactly how you feel. I broke down 3 hours away from home a couple of weeks ago with 4 lads from a stag do in the car, and we all had to get the train home. It was horrible. And then I had to pay 600 quid to get the car fixed. after we'd just paid £6,000 for this new car, new to us. Evening people, hope you're all staying cool in the heat. Ain't no joke, mate. The heat, I much prefer like freezing cold temperatures rather than this sort of muggy, no breeze, sunburn on the back of your head all day nastiness. Sweaty, horrible. Like, it makes you feel nicer because it's all bright and lovely out, but to try and get anything productive done, it's just, oh. Hey, David, you right, mate? Started in June, had a few hiccups with my machine, but all good now. I've had one job out of family and friends. I know the season's coming to an end, so trying to push it while I can. Yeah, just keep getting in touch with family. Seriously, family and friends are going to be your starting point to like, and keep repost some of your old before and afters. Just try and get as much content out there as possible and stay relevant. Like, stay active on social media and things, even if it's not necessarily about pressure washing. Try not to be too like adverty. Try not to be too do you know that algae can be slippy in the winter and like all this sort of stuff? It's a bit cringy. Oh no. My stepdad's just got Facebook. He's just added me. We'll get into it in just a sec, guys. We've got this quote to do. Hello everyone, I had a bad few weeks with jobs, but it's picked up this week. My biggest issue at the moment is I've had a few customers call me saying weeds are coming back. You're not the only one, mate. The weeds are out in force this year, and I'm sure many people in the industry would probably agree that this year's like different compared to last year. This year we've had a lot of rain and a lot of sun, like on and off intermittently, and I think it's like a breeding ground for weeds and stuff, because I don't remember it being this bad last year, honestly. And maybe, I don't know if the pollen counts any different, or like is that relevant to how much seed spreads through the air. And I don't know, even drives that I've sealed have got fresh weeds coming out the top. They're clearly, they've landed on the surface and you can just pop them out, but it still looks bad, doesn't it? 2 hour wait again, finish work at 3:30, still here. Oh mate, that's a bummer. Don't offer that as a service, but I don't want to lose return customers. It's a predicament until I have the correct license. What do you do? Don't offer what as a service? What were we talking about? Don't offer... I can't remember what we were talking about, mate. I've started my window cleaning business 2 years ago, going well, but looking at pressure washing. Thanks for all your videos. Oh, you're very welcome, mate. I'm glad you found them enjoyable or useful. Congrats on the business. How is window cleaning? How is it as a 2-year-old business in the window cleaning industry, because I've not touched window cleaning at all, and I'm curious. It feels like there's a hell of a lot of window cleaners out there, and a hell of a lot of gardeners out there, but they're all fully booked and they're not looking for any more customers. People say they're struggling to get gardeners, window cleaners, many tradesmen, plasterers, plumbers, builders. It seems like from the customers I've spoke to, they're struggling to get people because everyone's fully booked. You certainly can't get anyone within like the next couple of months. You know, services that have return customers every month, say for example like window cleaning or mowing the lawn, grass cutting. It seems to be them that aren't taking any more new customers. Oh, weed killing as a service. You know what? I've been thinking about it, and I'm wondering whether it is. Oh yeah, we were talking about weeds. Sorry. I'm wondering whether the weed killing. Has anyone looked into how much it costs to get that PA1 and PA6? £510. I read it differently at first. I read it as £150. I was going to say, oh, that's not too bad, but 510. And then it's like how much weed killing do you need to do to be able to make that money back? Like, how much are you going to charge to spray a bit of weed killer on someone's drive? Like, including the product for like your average 2-car drive, what are we talking, like 50 quid? Does anyone do it here? Does anyone know? Like, is 50 quid about right? Because you're probably paying, you're not going to use like 5 litres, you're probably going to use maybe 3 litres diluted on a standard double drive, so 10 or 15 quid for the product, 35 quid for your time, plus the fuel and all that sort of stuff to get out there. Like, is how many do you have to do? Are you incorporating it into the service to do a better job and give the customer better value, or are you incorporating it into the service to add another string to your bow and make money? I think that's the question. If you're adding it in to make more money, I don't know if it's viable. Whereas if you're adding it in to do a better job, pre-treat the weeds, kill them off, then blast the driveway like a week later, it's going to be better results, isn't it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I might look into this. Maybe not this year. Maybe next year. What's better to use on drives, hypo or biocide? That's a very broad question. It depends what the surface is, and it depends what you're trying to achieve. If it's black spots like this one, and you're trying to achieve instant results, go with hypo. If it's a delicate surface, or if it's part of a maintenance plan where you're going back and preventing build-up, then you might want to choose biocide. Just looking to start up my own business and slowly learning the game. That's very nice to hear. Do lots of research, ask lots of questions, doesn't matter how stupid they seem. Keep learning, be open to learning something new every day, and work hard. Be consistent, I'd say. And don't wait until next year to start. Like, everyone thinks, oh, the season's coming to an end, which they're right, it is. But if you wait until next year to start, you're going to be in a different situation next year, and you might find that next year isn't the right time to start because something else came up. Like, start right now. Start accumulating your equipment, start doing your research, start preparing, organising your life so that you can start your business. make your Facebook page, your Instagram account, register your business online, which to be fair you don't need to do until you've hit £1,000 worth of earnings, so maybe don't worry about that bit just yet, but start right now. If it's something you intend to do and you're passionate about it, passionate about making a change in your life, just start. What are your plans over the winter? Mainly gutters really, but I've got some savings from the work I've done this summer. I might diversify. I might aim more towards some like commercial stuff in the winter. I did get a fair amount of commercial work last year in the winter, and it can be the difference between you struggling that month and you actually earning a decent living. So I think commercial work has its place. And ideally, if you get offered commercial contracts or repeat cleans for like large buildings and stuff, or car parks or whatever, and they want you like ongoing, you should always, in my experience, or the advice I've been given, is plan that work in your quieter times so that you're not if it's guaranteed repeat work, you can organise it for the winters when you're going to be quiet. In the summers, you want to get all your residential stuff in, like the one-off sort of jobs, the one-off customers, make a good impression, and hopefully there'll be repeat customers next year as well. And then with the bigger sort of commercial stuff, try and get it in during the quieter periods. If you know it's guaranteed and they're kind of flexible on when you're able to do it, save it for the winter. Or do the first one and say, okay, the next clean we're going to organise for the winter, and then it's going to be every 12 months from that, from that point on. Hey Gary, you're right mate, you're right Luke. I've seen in the group someone mention a different route on weed killer, so you can apply it and you can't be fined due to it not being specifically weed killer. Yeah, I saw that in the Discord, and I'm wondering, I can't remember who it was that posted it, but I'm wondering how that person knows that you don't need a license to apply that product. Because I feel like if someone did catch you applying something to kill weeds, I feel like you'd still get done regardless, you know what I mean? Hiya Chris. I clean windows, carpets and pressure washing, so have gotten work all year round. So I have got work all year round. I clean windows, carpets and pressure washing. How are you finding running a business where you've got window cleaning equipment, which probably isn't that much to be fair, pressure washing equipment, and then carpet cleaning equipment as well? How are you finding managing all that equipment? Do you have to keep moving things in and out the van? Do you have like a massive van that everything can go in? Like, can you tell us more about that? And whether you think it's manageable for someone like me with a smaller van. I also was told using hypo you can be fined. Is that true or not? I don't know about hypo. If you're using anything to treat moss or weeds, no, specifically moss. If you're using a biocide to pre-treat moss, I think that is now illegal. Just because of, I think it's mainly because of the birds and the insects that feed off of that moss. You need to remove the moss first and then treat the area so that it doesn't grow back. They changed that, I think, this year, and Pure Seal have had to sort of adjust their policies and their wording on it. I think they made it very clear on the Pure Seal training course that you now have to remove the moss before you treat it. £50 seems pricey for literally a 10-minute job, but like you say, fuel, time, Yeah, I mean, you've got to consider if it's, say for example, the property's half an hour away from where you live. You've got to drive out there and drive back, so that's an hour on your day. You've got to apply the weed killer, probably half an hour, 45 minutes. And then it's the cost of the product and the cost of your fuel. So it really does add up. And if you can get enough of them, or it's already part of the job, I don't know. If you're pre-killing the weeds, you're making a special trip out there just to do that job, like 48 hours up to a week before you go out to pressure wash. So is that trip worth it for 50 quid? You know what I mean? The customer's definitely getting good value there. And then if you consider, like, what have they got to do to be able to do it themselves? One, they probably need a pump sprayer to do it effectively. Two, they're going to need to buy the product. I looked at Weed Killer the other day to actually purchase for a customer to do it themselves. I went to B&M, and like one of the cheapest weed killers there was for 5 litres for like a decent amount of weed killer. I think the cheapest one was like $24.99 for 5 litres of product, which is probably already diluted. I used to get one from Buildland, which was 5 litres undiluted, and you could dilute it like 4-to-1, so it went a really long way, and that was only like 17 quid. So you got much better value for money. But then they'll need a pump sprayer, then they need the product, and then they need to be able to, you know, be bothered to be able to do it themselves. I've got a lot of friends with huge social media follows, so it's free advertising for me. Yeah, if you can maybe even do a friend's property for them and ask them to share the before and after pictures and put a link to your page, that's massive for like when you're just starting your business. I did my mom's drive when I first started, and she shared it on her Facebook. She literally just shared the post that I put up, and I got 3 jobs out of that within a week. One was washing and sealing like a rainbow sandstone patio. The other one was cleaning a roof, and like a bungalow roof, like a small one. And then the other one was cleaning a driveway. And then off the back of all those, I had 3 separate occasions then where I could take some good before and after pictures, and it really does just snowball. If you can keep creating content, keep doing stuff, keep keeping busy, and taking plenty of photos. Speaking of photos, if you haven't already seen on my YouTube channel, you can click join to become a member. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've just so if you look here on the main page, you can hit join, and then under any of my videos as well, if you go onto my latest video,
job done, perfect. So
you can hit join here as well, just under the video. If you're on iPhone, you might need to click this link in the description and open it with Safari. And if you join the channel, circle member and higher, you'll get access to our private Discord. Oh, wrong one. The Discord is here, and you can just like download and sign into this on your phone. It's just like a really nice chat software. And this is how I was talking to Dave and Darren last week. So if you see the Discord here, we're all helping each other out every day. We're all posting our before and after pictures. We've got a couple of guides on the go about quotes, nozzles, where to use hypo, all that sort of stuff. We've got chemical chat, so you can ask all your questions. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I've just added another 100 images to there's another residential pack here. So if you join as a boosted member, which is like $12.99 a month, you'll get a total now of 150 before and after images that you can use for your leaflets, for your social medias, just like stuff to get you going, because I know how hard it is when you're first starting out. I know it's tough and you haven't got any pictures, you've got nothing to post. Don't forget the clueless members like me too. What are you talking about? But I'm sure, I don't know, I've had lots of people that have joined, and people seem to be getting value from it. I don't know whether there's any members. I know there's a couple of members in the chat now, but I think this Discord is great for me as well. Like, I'm asking questions to other people. We've got Darren in there from PWS who's offered his services, like a technical Ask a Professional. What did you guys think of that, by the way? Darren texted me on Friday and he said, how do you fancy having like a Ask an Expert section where people can put technical questions directed to Darren personally, and then he'll do his best to answer them. I was like, what are you going to get from that? Like, you're not getting paid. I'm not paying him. He's just offered to do that to help our community, which I think is lovely. I forgot what we were talking about, but I thought I'd let you know about that. How much can you earn from gutters per day? So the other day I did. Let's have a look. See if I can show you like an example of a job. I will get to all your questions and your comments and stuff, guys, so you'll have to just bear with me, because some of these questions are a bit more in depth than others, so I do try and say hello to everyone and make sure I'm doing my best to answer all your questions and stuff. Did I post about it? I didn't post about it. Okay, well, I did a gutter job in Bromsgrove. Fairly big house. There's gutters around all four sides of the house, and then the garage as well. And I vacuumed out all the gutters. I washed the gutters, the fascias, the soffits, and that was it. I left all the waste on site. I disposed of it in their garden waste bin, and I charged them roughly about £175, and that was 3 hours work. So I started at 9, done by midday, and then I had another pressure washing job on in the afternoon. So you can earn a decent whack from gutters. And to be honest, gutters have been quite important for me this year, especially over the winter last year as well. They have kept the work sort of rolling. And on to the next question. How do you go about getting commercial contracts? How do you price them? I had a couple of schools get in touch about gutter clearing, and this was just through word of mouth. So if you can get like schools, the two schools that I visited have both asked for regular gutter clearing. So maybe you want to approach a school, even if you haven't got the equipment yet. Approach some big organisations like pubs, privately owned pubs, schools, like anything, local village, I don't know, community centres, all that sort of stuff. Just approach them and just say, just say, I've noticed your gutters need clearing out. I can do it for this much money. And then once they agree, and you can get them booked in, then buy all the equipment. Like I only had, when I started doing a school, massive school, I started clearing out their gutters, I was still using, believe it or not, my Screwfix Titan vacuum with some Equip to Clean extendable poles. And the pole, it didn't fit. I had tape, I had gaffer tape going from the vacuum to this random pond hose, this really heavy pond hose, up into these, proper suction extendable poles, and that was what I was using. I did 3 days that week with that Titan, and And on the first day I was like, okay, I can't carry on like this. This is ridiculous. It's not. Thanks for the sub, Curious Sausage. I was like, I can't keep doing this. If this is going to be a regular thing, I need to upgrade my equipment now. I literally put an order in that night for my Panther. Well, it was a different one first, and then I swapped it for the Panther. And that was like, it didn't arrive until I got home on the third day. So I'd needed it for 3 days, and then as soon as I got it, I didn't need to do the work anymore until like a few months later. So weird tangent, but definitely gutters are worth it, in my opinion. Don't underestimate cleaning gutters with a water-fed pole and a brush. Brushing overhead with an extended water-fed pole with a brush on the end is fairly like back-breaking work. It's painful on your shoulders, it's painful on your neck, your eyes hurt from looking at the sky. If you're going to do it, I'd recommend some sunglasses, a hat, some headphones to get your podcasts on, music, you know, and just prepare yourself for like a labour-intensive morning. It seems like, oh, I've only got to do that. I've only got to wash it and then rinse it, and it's true. But when they're that high up and you've got flex in your pole, and you've got to get all the brackets, get behind the brackets and get all the different angles and stuff, you could spend 10 minutes just doing one small section of gutters, and then you realise you've still got like 4 or 5 other sections to do around the house. These bungalows aren't too bad because obviously they're a lot closer to the ground and you've got a bit more control. But yeah, definitely recommend gutter cleaning. It's a great add-on service for pressure washing as well. Because people will naturally say, with regards to like outdoor cleaning, they want to know if you do window cleaning as well. If you're doing a drive, sometimes they'll want to know, do you do windows? Do you do gutters? Do you do roof cleaning? Do you know anyone that can mow my grass? Do you know anyone that can trim the hedges? Like all that sort of stuff goes hand in hand. So if you do want to diversify, just think about outdoor services, outdoor maintenance, outdoor cleaning services. And people make a good living out of all of them, so they're all worth considering, really. I was thinking about carpet cleaning for the winter when I first started the business, but I don't think that's the direction I want to go anymore. Garden Maintenance says, the best thing I ever did was working for myself. All herbicide chemicals need a PA1 and PA6. I got my license 10 years ago through my old company. That's worth knowing. Do you have to update that? That 10 years ago, that license that you had, is that still relevant and active without needing to do the course again like every couple of years? Chris says, I have a Ford Custom and I can fit my carpet cleaning machine, window cleaning, reach and wash pole, 200 litre pure tank, still have room for my pressure washer. I'm sure you could use your water tank for window cleaning. So Ford Custom, okay. That's cool that you can fit everything in. You don't need to keep hoofing heavy equipment in and out. If I could fit everything in, I mean, I'd even consider mowing grass and stuff at the minute. Not because like I'm desperate for work, I just think I'd probably quite enjoy it. Like if you can, because the two real maintenance things with someone's property really is cleaning their windows every 6 weeks, and mowing their grass every couple of weeks. So if you, like as a new business, if you could offer those two services, I think that'd be quite lucrative to have like return customers every month or so. You know what I mean? Hello, Craig. You're right, matey. Tony says, I've just been asked to quote for 270 metres squared block paving slabs. I'm not sure how to price this one. I would normally quote £4 per square metre on block paving. but no way near the size. So if you have a look on the quoting tool, I don't know if anyone's using this. I use this now, which sort of says a lot, really. It sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet there. That's not what I meant. I meant like I've incorporated this into my workflow, which means it works for me, which was the intention. So let's go with 270 meters, and then we are resanding as well. I paid £7.30 for kiln dried sand the other day, which is extortionate. It's slowly creeping up everywhere. Are you making the quoting tool into an app? No plans yet. I think it works nicer on a website like this. I think it's more accessible. You could just type it into your browser and it's there. If I turn this into an app, it means there's a barrier to entry because you've got to download it in the first place. It's got to be on both Android and Apple, which is very difficult to get on both. Apple's notorious for being quite difficult to upload an app to. If anyone wants to, can I get in the chat here? I can. If anyone wants to have a look at that website and use the quoting tool, it's just there. So 270 meters squared, base price £3 per square meter plus another 50p per square meter here for the sand labour. It's also working out your bags, so roughly about 18 bags. This figure here is based on one bag per 15 meters squared. It's just a bit more than your average car parking space. So take this figure with a pinch of salt. I want to be able to adjust that depending on joint gap and stuff at some point, but so if you think this is a bit steep, I mean 270 square meters is a hell of a lot. It's a big old area, so don't underestimate how long that is going to take. 1, to clean, 2, to actually tidy up after yourself, rinse everything down, scoop all that muck up. If it's block paving, you could have a load of muck at the end of it as well. So you've got to figure out where all that's going to go. Ideally, you want to leave that on the customer's property somewhere with their permission, obviously. Also, whether you're going to be using chemicals. I want another button here. Click to, chemical application to account for that. So you might find that this is actually a reasonable figure here. You're quoting £4 per square meter. That includes the cost of 125 quid's worth of sand. It's got your labour accounted for. Or you might want to consider dropping this down to maybe £2.50, considering it's such a big area, or even £2. So you got a total price per square meter at £3 here, and that works out at pretty much bang on 800 quid, including all your materials. So have a play with that. And did my link appear in the chat just then? I don't think it did it? It's smelt.club. Just type into your browser smelt.club and you'll be able to have a play around with this. You can add on VAT if you're VAT registered, all that sort of stuff. And you can even send me a cheeky little donation if you find any of this sort of stuff useful. Oh, look at that nice review. I'll just leave that there for a minute. Martin, you like the idea of a Darren section? If you're interested in pressure washing for a career, it's worth subscribing. There are various lads in there, including Jake, with vast amounts of knowledge and will help when needed. Thank you, Luke. That's a really nice recommendation. Thank you. There's a bunch of us in there. There's like 40 members now, and chances are the questions that some of us have got, other people either know the answer or they've got the same question, so they're keen to find out. And we sort of just help each other. We're all bouncing off each other. I'm in there as much as I can be. Like, I'm on my phone. I've got it on the laptop, so when I'm doing my admin stuff, I'm always having a look. I read a lot of it. There are quite a few messages in there now, but I do read most of it and try and sort of chip in when I can. But it's a really lovely place. This is what it looks like again if you're not sure about Discord. We've got a little for sale section where we all keep an eye on the Facebook groups and eBay and stuff. A couple of us asking about quotes today. Oh, look at this. That was what I was doing today. Where was that video that was just posted? Here we go. Have a look at this. Serious drainage issues today from Steve, sorry. 2 blocked jets on the surface cleaner and a heavily blocked drain in a different area. Got on site at 8:45, left at 6:45, back again tomorrow. Look at this. This is what I'm saying, like, bad drainage can be an absolute killer. You could have the easiest pressure washing job, like in the video I posted when I was doing my nans. The video I posted today. Like that was that should have been a fairly easy job really, but it was such an old patio that the black spots were insane. I had a neighbour painting his back door, so I didn't want to get that covered in muck. So I actually left a bit in the corner where I didn't want to actually pressure wash it, because he knew like 2 days in advance that I was going to be there to pressure wash as well, and he still decided to paint his back door white as I was pressure washing. And then also there was no drain, and it just makes such a difference when there's no drainage as to how long the job takes. You end up sweeping water in different directions, and then you get these dirty patches where the dirty water's sort of sat and drained through, and it's a nuisance, absolute nightmare. Oh. Oi oi, Craig. What are you guys talking about? The nursery my son goes to has a filthy play area. Might ask them who I could speak to get it done. Yeah, just say, like, don't present it as, are you interested in getting your play area washed? Just say, you can be totally honest with them. You can just say, look, I've recently started my business. I'm really keen to get some jobs in like this because I think it'll be really good before and after. Like, I'd really like to have a go if you wouldn't mind. And obviously I'll do it cheaper than probably what a competitor would do it for you. Just be fully honest with them. People want to see you succeed, believe it or not. People like to see a new business prosper. Connor says, oh sorry. Ben asks, what length hose do you use on your gutter vac? Just the one that came with it, which is 5 meters. But I can see the benefit of potentially a longer hose. And mine is starting to get a little bit ropey now. I think this is the exact kit that I bought. And then you can obviously add the poles on as well, but that's the 5-meter hose that I've got. Wire reinforced. This clip-on, it's good design. This metal cuff. I need another one of these sponges. These sponges, literally as soon as I bought it, I tried to put it on and I poked my finger through it and it ripped. And I don't wash it as often as I should. But I should buy. How much are they? I've been meaning to do this for a long time. Sponge. I need to order a few of these really. Cloth filter. Filter. They must sell it as a spare, surely. Foam filter. 10 quid. That's not bad, is it? I might get a few of them. Oh, they're doing an X-Jet as well. 290 quid. Including the trigger, by the looks of it. Their pressure washing range is improving. They've got a lot more stuff than they had 12 months ago. Mossmatic. They've got the 21 litre Tsunami now. Foot pedals. This is a bit of a bargain. High pressure. 45. Is that a 45 foot? It's got the conversion kit on it, so you can do roof cleaning. That might be my next poll. Maybe not with all the roof cleaning stuff, but I think I want to upgrade at some point my gutter washing pole. Roof scraping, soft washing. I wonder if it'll be in here. Soft washing maybe. Auto-fed poles. So I'm going to buy it from GVS or I'm going to buy it from Gardner Pole Systems. So at the moment I've got a 22, which will be around about this kind of price. If I wanted to go, I don't have a carbon one at the moment. It's like a carbon composite with fiberglass, and so it's a little bit flexible. So I'm wondering if a fully carbon would be a bit more rigid. 28. I don't think I need more than 28. 22 is suiting me just fine, to be fair. 364 quid including that. That might be a worthwhile upgrade. I need to get on this quote, guys. I'm trying to catch up with your questions, but I need to get on this quote. Just looking to try and venture into commercial. I like cleaning petrol stations, car parks, etc. But everyone has a company they use. How would I go about pushing my way into the industry? Have you got a lovely, pretty website? I think for commercial stuff, a nice, professional website, and put some money into Google Ads. And LinkedIn as well. I've not used LinkedIn, but everyone who's a professional who has their own very successful business are telling me, get on LinkedIn. That's where you're going to get all your commercial work. I haven't done it yet because that's not what I'm looking for at the moment. Going self-employed next year and absolutely bricking myself, but can't wait. Buffalo, don't have that attitude, mate. You need to like be confident that you're going to make it a success. It's not down to chance. I need to like assure you that starting your own business, and whether it's a success or not, unless it's something crazy risky like a new product or something, it's not down to chance. It's down to the amount of effort you put in, your consistency, and your willingness to like make a change in your life. Does anyone know the fines if you don't have a PA1 or PA6? No, Neil, I don't. I'm sure it's not good though, either way. Travis Perkins bags are now 20 kilograms and almost double the price compared to 3 months ago. Yep. They had an offer on apparently 3 months ago, Batman. I'm sure that offer was like £3.60 a bag. And I didn't know that was an offer. I thought that was just their regular price. I couldn't believe it. But if you're buying enough and you get friendly with like your Travis Perkins local branch, which I am now, I sort of say hello to everyone. And they know me, they trust me to just go and pick the sand myself and close the van and then tell them how much I've got. Like, if you get friendly with them, they can give you discounts and stuff. They'll just change the price at the till. Darren was great, and Squeaky Clean Dave too. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed those podcasts. I'd like to get more guests on at some point. I just don't know who to ask. I don't know if I know like enough about other people to be able to. I mean, I didn't know that much about Squeaky Clean Dave, to be fair. I just knew that he had a lot of experience in the industry, so he was a good person to ask. What I'd like to do is get someone on who's like recently started their business and it's going quite well for them. I'd like to know Craig, I'd like to know what I'd like to see a success story where someone's put a lot of effort into certain techniques like marketing. They've bought like very specific equipment, and I want to find out why and how it's worked for them, so that I can pass that on to my viewers who are always asking, how do I get started? What's the best strategy for marketing? All that sort of stuff. Sid is a shout. I don't know if I think I'm probably a little bit small to grab Sid's attention, to be honest. I don't know if he'd be interested in talking to me, considering how big his channel is and stuff. I don't know. I suppose you don't know until you ask, do you? Steve, you made it to the big screen. Mom, I'm on TV. I use a 20 meter, always seems to be getting blocked. Oh, gutter vacuum pole, gutter vacuum hose. They do get blocked, don't they? Especially if you're sucking like sludgy, thick stuff, and then it has time to like dry in the hose. The hose gets super heavy, and you have to blast through, like water through it. The most effective way to clean it out when it's blocked is to fill up a bucket of water. Do it on site. Do it at the customer's house. Fill up a bucket of water and suck it through the vacuum, and it clears it instantly. I saw that on the GVS YouTube page. I think they did a video about it. What's your thoughts on the camera attached to the pole? Benefit or fad? I had a camera attached when I was cleaning gutters at a school, and I was 40 foot up. I had all the extended poles on, and I was like, and I sort of went to lean it against the wall, but because there was so much flex, it sort of bashed against the wall, and the camera just fell off and smashed to bits. So that was the end of that. I mean, the camera survived. It was just the attachment from GVS that I paid for. I paid good money for it. It was like 50 quid or something. It snapped off its hinge, and then the shell smashed to bits. And luckily the actual GoPro was fine. I have a website, but I don't have LinkedIn. I'd like to get on LinkedIn and just see what's going on. You're definitely onto something with your guests. Maybe you could get a member on. That's a good idea. It's difficult when you don't know someone, isn't it? To like figure out. I don't mean this in a rude way, but like figure out whether they're worth talking to, because some people aren't. Like I know I could have a conversation with Squeaky Clean Dave because he's all over YouTube. And he can talk to himself on his YouTube channel for hours. I know I could have a conversation with Darren from PWS, because he does the live streams, just talking around his shop, just showing people the products, and he's quite active on Facebook and stuff, and he's got a lot to say. Like there's a lot we can learn from him. But your average person that hasn't necessarily got much going on yet, and they're looking to try and start and make something and build something for themselves, I don't know if there's enough to fill like a whole podcast episode with some stranger that I've never met. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit difficult. I like the idea, and I do want to do something like that. Maybe I could get people in. Maybe I could have multiple people lined up, and we could just get them in, ask a few questions, say hello, and just see where the conversation takes us, I suppose. And then when I feel like it's sort of, the conversation's sort of over, maybe we could just say, okay, nice to meet you. Right, we're going to go on to the next person now. To be honest, I haven't been going long with the company, but I have big goals for it. Trying and researching everything. Well done, Connor. That's all you can do, isn't it? Is set yourself some realistic, achievable goals, and research, and be consistent and work hard. One of the SpinnerClean guys, SpinnerClean. I haven't looked too much into SpinnerClean. Are these the people that do Skyvac? Yeah, I thought it was. To be honest, I'd like to talk to Julia from Gutter Vacuum Systems. That would be a good idea. That'd be a great episode. I think she's shy though. I don't know if she'd want to talk to me live. That'd be sick. She's so full of information, and she just wants everyone to do really well. Like, she's so lovely. That might be the plan. I'll send her a message this week maybe, because then I can get you guys to line up some questions for her about gutter cleaning and stuff. That'd be. I like that idea. I mean, that was my idea. I'm sorry. King Kong, welcome. Right, quote, stop distracting me, everyone. Jeez. Okay, so the dimensions of this one, I wrote them down. The dimensions of this drive are 3.4 by 6.6, which equates 3.4 by 6.6 is about 23 meters squared. That little old driveway, and then we're going to add a few meters on for the concrete on the right here, and for this path going up the side of the house. So let's round it up to 30 meters squared, which, let's be honest, it's a small driveway, isn't it? But they've also asked me to quote for the gutters. They want the gutters vacuum in, and he wants a separate price for the gutters to be washed. Oh, also, by the way, I'm going sober. I think I am, yeah. And if I say it now, it means I've got to stick to it. So this is Birra Moretti 0. So if ever you see me drinking beer from now on, hopefully it'll be a 0. I'll explain why in a bit, but I think it's going to benefit me. I think it's going to benefit the business, and just wanted to let you know. So 30 meters squared. We might increase our price just because it's such a small area. We're going to include resanding. So this really is my minimum call out is 125 quid for pressure washing. So any surface, no matter how big or small, or no matter how small, sorry, my minimum price is 125 quid now, to even make it worth sort of coming out, setting up the equipment, and you know. So this is working out at £4.50 per square metre. and it's still cheap. Like, that still seems, including resanding, do we not think that's cheap? I'm curious as to what you guys would charge for anyone who's in the industry. Heavy black spots. Heavy black spots. But also, I'm keeping in mind that they want their gutters cleaning. Cleaning and clearing front and back. Gutters, fascias and soffits. So, do I stick with this price here? 134 quid or 135 quid? In the hope that they'll go for the other work that I'm going to price up as well. 2 bags of sand. Does that look realistic for that area? Am I going to use 2 bags of sand? Yeah, maybe 2.5. Yeah. I think that's about realistic, considering the joint size. There are any skinny joints. Might take a couple of chemical treatments, that's all I'm thinking. This is a previous customer as well. This is now his parents' house. So we cleaned his drive in one of my videos, actually. And he obviously enjoyed the work we did. Do you remember the one we did with Callum and his friend Matt, where they were up doing the gutters, taking all the hedgehogs out and stuff, and I was cleaning the drive? Bet those black spots don't come up a few goes at it, you reckon? Hi, Spick and Span. Welcome, matey. You're right. So have you already gone sober? Yes. 175 for the driveway alone. You reckon, Sam? Yeah, I think this is very cheap. Too cheap. When it's such a small area, it's difficult, isn't it? When it's a small area, you want like a starting price. Because say, for example, if it was 50 square meters, 55 square meters at £3 plus resanding, that's reasonable, really. It's almost like expensive at £4 per square meter, I'd say. That's fairly reasonable. But as soon as you drop that down to 30 square meters, that's so cheap. It's not even, that doesn't even, at £3 per square meter as a base price, that doesn't even make my minimum call out. So we've got to increase this. You know what I mean? £4 per square meter, wash only £4.50, wash and chemical £5, chemical and resand. So you reckon £5 per square meter, wash, chemical treatment, resand, 150 quid. I'd say that was more, that was closer to what? It's still cheap, but I'd say that's closer. It will go just be a bit of a pain. Drainage looks good, so it could be okay. Drainage is actually a weird one. So here, off to the right here, which is where the driveway slants. It slants over here. There's no drain. Unless there's a drain under that bush further into the corner. But I couldn't see, so all the water's going to run off here. And it may just accumulate, so it could be a pain, but it might not. If there's a drain further down, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's just go, I'm going to just do like a 150 quid for the pressure washing. I'm putting this in just because it's roughly 30 meters squared. So if he decides to measure it himself, he'll know that it's not an exact measurement, because I'm adding a little bit on for the path and stuff, so it's not perfect. 30 meters square, block paved driveway wash. I'm just going to split it up. I know we said 150, but I'm going to split it up so we can see I'm also re-sand driveway. And I'm just going to add the extra 25 on there. So we're at a total of 150. Gutter vac. How much we charging for the gutter vac? I've started charging about £75 now, as like between 65 as a base price now for vacuuming gutters out. And I'm just looking at these. We've got a stretch around here, and then we've got a gap, and then we've got a stretch there. We've got a full conservatory all the way around, and then we've got a big long stretch down the side. One thing to consider, it's lower, so it's a bungalow. It's going to be slightly easier access, easier to get into. I still think a base price of £75 is fair. Can we agree on that, everyone? Gutter vac 75. Gutters wash. I think he wants this breaking down. So I'd normally do gutters, fascias, and soffit wash around about £75 as well. And we've got these. What are these peaks called? Because these aren't fascias. Are they called? Actually, there's a good image online. If you type in fascias for Google, you get this really good picture here. Oh. Okay, that's not helpful for what I'm looking for. Barge board. Are they calling that a barge board? I thought it was called like a dormer or something. Fascia, dry verge. They're calling it a barge board. Okay, I guess they are just sort of fascias then. Okay. Either way, it's good to note those, because that's quite difficult access there over the conservatory. Probably going to have to rinse the conservatory roof off because of the chemicals I'll be applying. Or I could make this the first property that I experiment and try the pressure washing method on the gutters and fascias and soffits. But to be honest, I really do think my machine now there's far too much water coming out the end of that lance to be pointing it at gutters. Like, it's a little bit. I want to be able to wind it back more than what I can do now. Like, if I turn the revs down now and pull the trigger, the machine just sort of dies. And so I need to find a way of really winding it back. It might just be a case of, like Darren said the other day, really turning that unloader valve down. Or did he say up? If you're turning the revs right down, did he say turn the unloader up or turn the unloader down to stop the machine stalling? I can't remember what he said. That would be my price, Midlands. Okay, Sam. Thank you. What, 150? Oh, 175, sorry. How about Bennett Flawless Cleaning? Have you seen what he's done for an old fella called Norman, practically having his house rebuilt through crowdfunding? That's awesome. I have seen him. I haven't watched many of his videos, but I've seen the sort of work he does. Problem is charging your price per square meter as it's too small sounds risky, if you get me. I totally understand. 265 all in. Sam is straight, no messing about, straight down the line. 265 all in. I mean, let's break down that price. 150 for the drive. That's another £115 for the gutters, faces and soffits. Let's wash the gutters, which isn't a bad job really, for 35, and then fascia and soffit wash. I'm gonna go another 35 to make that 70. How's that? So then we're at 150, 75, 35, 35, 295. Wait. Shall I bring this down to 30? And maybe this down to 65, because it's easy access. Wait, what am I doing wrong here? Oh no, I've got it. 65. 275 quid. What do we reckon? Normally, if you put your price in with a solid number, they think you've just guessed. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I had this thought a while back. I don't go that specific with like the decimal place, like £153.47. I don't know about that, but definitely going, instead of 150, maybe going 145 or 155. So it's a little bit more specific, because it's very easy for them for it to look like you've just guessed. You've just pulled a number out of thin air. I do totally agree with that. Let's send this price off. I think I'm happy with that. I'm gonna pull up WhatsApp, and I'm gonna check my calendar off stream, just because I don't want to share his number and stuff. Let's get a date. Let's say Sunday looks good. Sunday the 10th. I'm available Sunday 10th, if that's convenient. Thanks. Do you have a compost pile or garden waste bin for the moss? And thanks, Jake. How's tax calculated in the UK? I need to add around 31% more since I'm registered now. You're VAT registered? Does that mean you're earning over a certain amount? Have you not only just started your business recently, Spick and Span? I think VAT is 20%, isn't it, in the UK? Oh, sorry, I think I misread that. Paying taxes, sorry. So in the UK it's 20%. and then 9% for national insurance, so it's about 29% in total. WhatsApp. Sorry, I thought you meant you were charging your customers VAT because you've earned over a certain threshold, but that's different. Right, I've sent that. Hopefully he will reply while I'm streaming, so we can get some live feedback from the quote. Guys, I'm 31, right? I'm 31 and I'm having to moisturize my knees. They're getting to the point. I don't know if it's the trousers that I'm wearing. You're not going to be able to see. But I've got like sore, dry, like itchy knees now. I don't even know if I'm kneeling down that much. I certainly was today, doing all the landscaping stuff. But I don't know if it's my work trousers rubbing against my knees or the amount that I'm sort of sweating in my work trousers. I don't know, because it's been so hot. But they're so itchy and horrible. I'm having to put moisturiser on them every day. I feel like such an old man. Thanks for the answer, it's clear now. Nice. Can you suggest anything to block the bottom of a garage from flooding? Anything to keep the water out? You can get socks. You can get water socks. Or, so these absorb water. And I'm pretty sure some of them are one-time use. But also we were looking at Toolstation. Hose. 3-inch hose. Lay flat hose. And then, because it's fairly cheap, and then blocking one end, and then put in like a tap, like a hose connector on the other end. You probably need to get some different fittings and adapters to actually go from 3 inches down to 3/4 inch or whatever. But making like your own sock, something you can fill with water and then drain after the job, would be perfect, and it's something that I'm looking into as well. I don't want to fill something with sand because then it's always full. It's super heavy, and it's just like an extra thing that I've got to battle with in the van. But with something like this, if I could cut it to length, say 5 meters, would be plenty. Block the end, fit an adapter on the other end, and fill it with water on site. So that way, when the job's finished and I've directed all the water where I need to go, I can just open the end, it empties out, and then I just roll it back up into a ball. That would be ideal, personally. Or you could get these. But the bottom of garage doors are quite often a nightmare. Sometimes there's like a drain in front of the garage door which catches a lot of the water and stuff. Sometimes garage doors have like a rubber guard on the bottom to stop water coming in. But you can also just say to the customer, if you can see it's going to be an issue, just say you might get some water coming into the garage, so if you've got anything on the other side that you don't want to get wet, I'd suggest moving it backwards. And then the responsibility is not on you at that point. If you've informed the customer and you've told them what to expect, and it's sort of like it's a design flaw in their property. It's not something you've necessarily caused. It's just a product of what's happened due to putting a load of water down on the surface. At least you've let the customer know, and now you're sort of not responsible. If you didn't tell the customer that it might be a potential issue, and then the stuff in the garage, valuable stuff that gets wet, or carpet that gets ruined or whatever, then you're going to get told off for it, aren't you? You know what I mean? When I fill my fuel tanks up, it never come out bag on. Yesterday it was. Hang on, wait. Let me read that again. I think I might have read that wrong. When I fill my fuel tanks up, it never come out bag on. Yesterday it was 68.37. When I think I know what you meant. When I fill my fuel tank up, it never comes out bang on. Yesterday it was 68.37. I'm the same. I can never get it to a round number. If I'm going for like 65 quid, I always put £65 and 2 pence in every single time. I think you can actually set it on some of the fuel stations now. You can set a limit every £10 and it'll fill it only up to the limit. Hi Andy, how you doing, mate? I got myself some of those white polyurethane bags today to try out. You mean the polypropylene bags from Screwfix? These bad boys. These are a bargain, by the way. If you need to get rid of waste, sludge and stuff, these woven polypropylene, it's like almost like tarpaulin, like a I think it's the same material that your big bags of bulk bags of sand comes in when they get it delivered from like Travis Perkins and stuff, and it allows the water to drain out the bottom, and then you're just left with sand then. So if you're scooping all your sludge at the end of the drive into these, and they're manageable sizes, like they're not massive, and they're big enough to sort of get your shovel head in or whatever, and you just sort of sit it on top of a drain and all the water just flows out the bottom, and then after about 15 minutes you're just left with a dry bag of sand. I think they're really good. I don't know how I came across these. It's when I first started, it was like a brainwave I had. I don't think I saw it anywhere. I think I want to claim, definitely claiming full responsibility for that idea, because I think it's quite a good one. So I was looking for a solution for all that sludge. When I did my first job, I was like, I can't believe how much moss and sand there is. What am I going to do with all this? I was like quite keen to find a solution. Blue Wave, what's going on, mate? You're right. Chelsea UK, they're amazing. I bought some to empty my rear garden pebbles. Hold so much weight, it's unreal. They do. Anybody from Wolverhampton near Wolves at all free between now and Thursday to complete a drive, block pave, pressure wash and sand? So Andy's got a job that he's not going to fit in before Friday, but they're keen to have it done, I think. So if you're in the, where's Wolverhampton? Is that is that near West Midlands? Is it West Midlands? My geography's terrible. Midlands. It's in Wolverhampton's Midlands, isn't it? I think I'm embarrassing myself. I'm gonna stop talking. Where's the fun in the limits? I like living on the edge. Just seen your message at the top about weeds. I always state on my quotes that weeds will always come back. I think I might have missed that message. I think I've missed a message about limits. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Where's the fun in the limits? I got some barriers from AC pressure washers that you can fill it with water. Ooh. You can fill them up with water. I want to be able to search. Can you not search on this? Drainage and flood control. Flex barrier. That looks like exactly what we were talking about on stream a couple of weeks ago. Stops liquids from getting in places it shouldn't. Fill with sand. Water can be used in warmer climates. Water can be used in warmer climates. Why have they got to be warmer climates? PVC construction, reusable, can be shortened. I want to know what the end looks like. What's the fitting on the end? Or do you just sort of fill it with sand and or fill it with water and just fold it over and clip it together maybe? Is that the one you were talking about? Oh, you said about setting limits of fuel stations. Sorry, my bad. I'm so terrible at that. I'm having a conversation and then 30 seconds later someone replies to that conversation and I'm totally lost. It happens all the time. I'm really sorry. Been busy this week. No, yeah, quotes are starting to pick up definitely. I'm having a few more. I think people are coming back off holiday. I think now that the sun's come out, the quotes are starting to roll back in a little bit. Definitely. How about you? Van update, still here waiting. No, it's dark now as well. It's 9 o'clock. Mate, I feel so bad for you. What have you been doing? Have you been watching the stream or trying to stay sane? Mate, that's terrible. Hi all, anybody happy to say an average month's earning and expenses to give an enthusiast some insight over how many drives to? It's difficult, isn't it, when it comes to like, I mean, I'll tell you, I was earning in my last job, after tax, I was earning about £1,900 a month. Since then, like, stuff's gone up in, a lot of things have gone up in price, like a lot of our bills and stuff have gone up. So since starting my business, the living situation has got harder, definitely. But now I'm paying myself £2,000 a month to cover bills, food, all that sort of stuff. So I'm earning enough to live. The business is earning more than that, and I've been able to save much more than I've ever been able to save. Hi, it's hot, isn't it?
It's really bad in here, actually.
Are you swimming? Good job. Proud of you.
It is hard for me.
I know. Think of the McFlurry afterwards.
That's what I'm thinking.
Are you actually? We getting McFlurry?
I am. So yeah.
Probably hay fever tablets for Luca and the inhaler. Do you want to come say hi to everyone?
Okay.
You look lovely.
Liar.
This is Sophie, everyone, for those of you that haven't met her. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Mrs. Mum has been round and not too far from her house. She's popped to get me a chippy. Oh, that's nice. Mitchell's stuck on the side of the road. He's broke down. He's been there for many hours now. We know that experience, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't, I do. You were chilling at home. I was 3 hours away trying to find a train.
In my car.
In your new car?
But I do want a chippy now. So thanks.
A chippy? I couldn't eat a chippy now. We've just had pasta.
I didn't have much because I didn't want to take it away from you.
Really?
Yeah. I only had a small dollop.
A dollop? You don't have dollops of pasta. You have scoops. So we doing McFlurry then later.
Yeah, what do you want?
I think plain McFlurry, hot apple pie, please. What are you having?
I always decide when I get there.
Do you? Living on the edge.
Spur of the moment.
Are you JP? You're right, mate. All right, Neil. No worries, Ricky.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mentioned earlier that I'm sober since Friday. It was the
You can't use
first.
that.
It was the first of the month. So we had the wedding where we drank a lot, and then I thought, you know what? The next couple of days after the wedding, I felt so anxious and lost, and I was worrying, and I didn't have any clear thoughts in my head. Like I couldn't focus on one thought. I was trying to explain this to Richard when
Yeah.
I have something I'm like enjoying thinking about, and then within seconds it's overtaken by a different thought, and I think it's the alcohol. AC pressure washers, welcome, mate. You're right. Can you confirm what the fittings on the end of these are? Does it have like a hose attachment? Well, it can't have a hose attachment because you can fill it with sand. I'm looking for a product for one of these barriers that has like a sewn end, so it's a blocked end. You haven't got to like bend it over and put a clip on it or whatever. And the other end, like a hose adapter, so I can literally hook up a customer's water supply, fill it up, and then drain it when I need to. Clips. Is it clips on both ends? SB pressure washing, welcome. How you doing? No fittings, you roll them up and they have a clip on the end. The other end is sewn. Does the clip do a good job of like holding water in?
I've seen a bit.
Because like that's nice and simple, isn't it, really? Love you. So what I was saying about the alcohol, basically, in a bit. Be happy. You're doing a good thing. She's going swimming. It's a nice time at night to go for a drive in your car as well. Think about that.
Maybe I'll just drive and turn around.
Just drive to the pool and then turn back. Huh? Yeah, technically you would have been to the swimming pool. So this is the first time in a long time, right, that I've done a live stream after a weekend of not drinking alcohol. And I'll be honest, I do feel like better. I feel clearer. I feel like I can express myself better or like communicate better. I feel a little bit more awake, maybe. It's very hot though, so that's still an issue. I'm 20 years old, looking to start my business and stumbled across your YouTube channel. I've looked at this business idea for a while now. What's the best way to go about starting up? Get going, literally start doing research, learn as much about it as possible. If you're, it's difficult to like give you advice without knowing your financial situation. If you're 20 years old, like, do you already have a job? How's your financials? Like, do you have any money saved? Can you afford to like buy like a decent setup, or do you need to buy a setup on a budget at the moment? Do you have a van? Do you have like a vehicle? Do you drive? All that sort of stuff. Quite a few questions to ask to give you some like decent advice. It's around 500 millimeters to 1 meter of rolled up barrier, then a clip either side holds it in place. That's interesting. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. I could have done with it the other day. Because I want to be able to fill one with, my idea is fill one with water, Because if I fill it with sand, I've got this big heavy sock that I've got to sort of carry around and like muck about within the van and just sort of try and store it neatly. Whereas if it's water, I can just empty it out at the end of the job, roll it up, and then it's tidy then. I ordered an XJet of AC pressure washers. Can't wait to have a play with it on Wednesday. Batman. They're awesome. They're proper good. I got mine from Rutland Pumps. To be honest, I've had a slight issue with the plastic clips. I don't know if you can see it on the... I did probably over tighten them. What? Are they not selling it anymore? They might be selling They might be selling their own version now, exclusively. I think it's called a foam cannon. That's weird, they've not got anything on here. I'm sure I got it from Rutland Pumps. Weird. I want to be able to search on here. Where's this? Is there a search function? XJet Technologies. I might have got it from here actually. I can't remember honestly. Where did I get it from? McFlurry Mondays, exactly, mate. Exactly. Just fold it and use the clip, which works well from what I've seen. I think I watched it on YouTube. Nice. A decent wedge behind me. I like that word. Wedge. What am I looking at? So these clip. So this has got them as well. Look, see those white clips there? They're sort of the way I use those clips. They were black on the ones that I got, but the way I use those clips is to position the lid. It's better to just show you the video actually. Position the lid, because I drilled a hole in my hypo barrel and I set the depth of the hose and then pinched the clip in place so that depth like stayed consistent, using my new XJet. I need YouTube Red or whatever it's called. Sounds dodgy, that does, YouTube Red. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Those black clips there, see on the left? See this? So I think I pinched mine too tight, but I wanted to pinch it enough so that it stopped, so that it didn't move along the hose. Because as soon as the hose gets wet, it can tend to sort of move around. So I pinched them quite tight to keep the lid in place. So I drilled the hole in the lid. But now those little clips have snapped. They're both broken. So I drilled the hole, put it all back together, and then see those black clips? I set the depth like that. And then I pushed the black clip on and squeezed it super tight so that it stayed in place. So that lid didn't drop any further. Also the hose wasn't able to pull out. And also what's happened with my XJet is this filter on the end here. It's got a few holes in it now and it's gone a little bit rusty, that filter there. It's got a couple of like chunky holes in it, I mean, not that my hypo barrel's going to have loads of chaff in there that it's going to suck up. But I think I'm going to have to replace that filter soon. And also, the clip on the other side that goes into the chemical injector, that goes into the... I've got it set up wrong there. I'll see if I can show you. So the clip that goes in on the end here, I think that one's also broke. And so I've had to put a Jubilee clip there and tighten the Jubilee clip up, else the hose dropped off and chemicals spill everywhere. So that's a slight annoyance. So I've only had it for like a couple of months, and I'm already having to sort of replace minor parts on it, which isn't ideal. And it's not like I've been I haven't exactly been naughty with it. I've been quite gentle, to be fair. This isn't a good example of the XJet in use because I didn't understand that you have to turn your revs down on the machine to get it like to foam nicely. Recently, in today's video, you can see some much better foaming action. I drive and have been saving for some time, so I have a decent wedge behind me. But seeing your videos from Worcestershire and me being from Kidderminster makes me believe I can work for myself. Squeaky Clean Dave, just above you in the comments, is also from Kidderminster, and he's been going for 16 years now. It's a very viable business opportunity option. See, that's what I'm talking about with the foam. Look at that. Also, my stubby trigger from Equip to Clean, that's also broke now, so I'm having to use this longer lance. I'm just using this lance for the hypo because AC Pressure Washers kindly sent me out a proper ST600, but I don't use that nice lance for applying the hypo. I only use my old one now. This is the new video, by the way, if you haven't seen it already. This is the first time I've used music in one of my videos for a very long time. I never usually use music. You got your XJet from Squeaky Clean Dave got his XJet from Rutland Pumps. Yeah, I'm sure I got mine from them as well. When you say sober, are you like Frank the Tank? You lose yourself and are all in. Who's Frank the Tank? I don't know what you mean. Lose yourself. I don't know, when I'm drunk I'm definitely a different person. I'm more annoying and I'm probably a bit ruder. I'm a bit more arrogant. I'm a bit louder. And actually, the wedding the other night was the first time in a long time that I've had a decent amount to drink and I forgot parts of the night. Like Sophie said stuff that happened. Nothing bad, it was just like conversations and stuff that I had with people, or stuff that we did, and I actually didn't remember it. So that's concerning. I've never had that before. So I must have been pretty drunk. And like, I don't like that thought. I don't want to not be able to remember stuff from the night before. That's weird. So George, what I'd recommend is, which was some good advice we had from Darren from PWS last week. He said, if you want to get into pressure washing, buy the best machine that you can afford. First of all, I'd say make sure you enjoy the work. or make sure you don't hate the work anyway. You don't necessarily have to enjoy it, but if there's a way you can sort of get yourself into it, like a soft introduction to pressure washing, a good way of doing that would be to rent a machine. You could rent one for the day and like do your mom's patio or driveway or whatever. Because the money that you're spending on renting a pressure washer, I mean, what is it to rent a pressure washer? It can't be more than like 60-70 quid a day, surely. And if you're charging 150-200 quid for the job, you're still making money, and you get those before and after pictures, and you can post it on your new Facebook page, and you can get your mom and your friends to share it and potentially get more work out of it. And by the time you've done 2 or 3 jobs like that, you've got enough money to buy a pressure washer. Or if you've already got some savings, you purchase the best pressure washer you can buy, and if that's a couple of grand, you know, within 5 or 6 jobs, you've earned all that money back. It's a very viable, you can make a lot of money very quickly in this industry. But also you've got to consider, like, the equipment's expensive, and you can't forget about fuel, you can't forget about materials, sand, chemicals, because it's not all profit. It sounds like, oh, I'm only using the water and I'm using the customer's water and a bit of fuel, but that's not really realistic, which is sort of what we spoke about with Darren. Or was it you, Dave? I can't remember. Was it you that we were talking about the profit? It was you, wasn't it? Yeah, it's not all profit. I remember we both agreed on that. Hire it in Kidderminster, hire out pressure washers for about 50 quid plus VAT. There you go. Or I would tend to potentially avoid your generic hire places, because they'll have like commercial grade pressure washers with like Bowsers attached to them, and they'll be more for like rinsing stuff down, like after it's like post-construction cleaning, where there's like a lot of dust and just mud everywhere. It's not necessarily designed for like cleaning block paving, for example. They won't give you the right nozzles, like you won't get a turbo nozzle. So maybe go to, I mean, if you want to hire a proper pressure washer that you could then buy, like if you liked it, that would be very viable for driveway and patio cleaning, you could go to, which is fairly local, in Evesham. What am I doing? I can just go onto my trusted suppliers list here. There you go, AC pressure washers. How about that? Look, you're a trusted supplier. You could go to Pressure Washer Sales and Service in Evesham, which isn't far. They're in Worcestershire, and you could hire a proper pressure washer from them, one with all the right nozzles, and they can give you some good advice. Their customer service is excellent. And you can see it, if you like that machine that you hire, it's one of these. Look, you can hire one of these from them, and they'll give you the correct nozzles on it. They'll give you some good advice on how to use it, and then if you like it, you can purchase that equipment afterwards as well. I think that's a really good route for someone starting out in pressure washing, is to like just hire stuff, and you're not paying for it then, the customer's paying for it. You just include it in the quote. and obviously you're going to be charging less as a new business, trying to gain experience and stuff. But also, if you're unsure on quoting, I've got a quoting tool online at smelt.club. I didn't type it in. Smelt.club. Measure the area, type in your measurements here, and have a play around with this baseline figure. Add your sand on, add your cost of sand, and then you'll get like a rough price to go by. And then click on my YouTube channel and watch all of my videos. I've got lots of stuff out there for beginners, especially my earlier stuff. If you look at my earlier bits on the channel, you can see about how I went full time, how I quote, the stuff I bought for under 400 quid to get my business started, little tips and tricks here and there. There's all sorts. Have a look. Hope that helps. I used Rutland's old one to rinse down. Yeah, so the attachment on the X-Jet, the nozzle on the X-Jet is a really good flow and like a pattern that's like lends itself to rinsing surfaces down because it's quite low pressure, but it pushes out quite a decent amount of water. Hi Mark. I was told by Rutland Pumps, if you turn your revs down, you can damage the pump, as a 21 should always run at 200 bar. What's your thoughts? I think Darren spoke about this last week, where he said if you're turning your revs down, your machine is still trying to achieve 200 bar. So at that point, you also want to turn your unloader valve down to match the flow. What is this music? I recognise this. Not really the vibe I'm going for though. Nor is this. It's a 21 litre petrol, 200 bar. They also hire out a Whirlaway. There you go. Go and do a day or two free labour with Squeaky Clean to see how it's done. I'm sure he gets requests like that all the time. When I put a couple of videos on TikTok, God, the amount of requests I get for people to come out and work for free. And people just ask you, like, are you hiring? And then you'll get essays of like these young lads, which it's really like nice to see. People putting effort in. They write these massive messages out saying I'm 17 years old, looking to get into pressure washing. This and this. I'd love to come out with you for a day. All this sort of stuff, and it's really like it's lovely to see, but it's just not something I can really do at the minute. Dave, would you consider having someone come out with you? It's surprising just how much you spend over a year on equipment working flat out all the time. It's never only a couple of quid either. This was a misconception that I had when I started the business. It was, I thought we had this conversation last week, but I thought once I'd bought my equipment, that's it, I've got nothing else to buy. But stuff breaks and degrades and bursts, like hoses burst all the time. The amount of posts you see on Facebook of a high pressure hose bursting, and turbo nozzles failing, and pumps leaking. I've got an oil leak on my engine. It's like it's just been put together for me, and I've got an oil leak on it already. And like you get sand in places where you don't want sand. You get water in places in the van where you don't want water. Like it's not a one-off purchase, so you do need to put money aside for maintenance and repairs. So that's a very good point, Jason. Yeah. George says, I've only got Sorry, I've got 6 grand saved and just want to know where the best areas to put my money are. Marketing, equipment, also scared to take the gamble as I wish to look professional. Appreciate all the advice. I mean, I think for 6 grand, you can get yourself a pressure washer with a buffer tank and a fairly decent van, I'd say. You get a pressure washer with a turbo pack with all the attachments that you need to start washing driveways and patios. You get a decent van, and then you'll have room for a buffer tank then. You could probably stretch to like a mounted hose reel so you don't have to keep getting it in and out the van. Like if you want to do it properly first time, I'm sure you could get a decent setup for 6 grand. Someone was showing me a van, a Citroen Dispatch that they wanted to sell me today. One of my customers. I've been watching your videos all night. Oh, thanks, George. I hope they're useful. I hope you find it useful. Have we heard back about this quote? Not yet. Do you want to see what I've been doing today? I've been absolutely sweating in the sun, doing the most awful job. You can't see that, can you? If anyone gets asked by a customer to relay block paving because they've got roots growing underneath it, price well. Jesus. It's such a difficult job. And in this heat as well. Smashing that with an axe. This was just one of 5 areas that I had to relay. This is going to be part of Monday's video. And then I got the saw on it at the end. Look. Good job I brought that. That was a good investment. Where's the other ones? Had to lift this whole slab and relay it because people kept tripping over. It was like sunk at the bottom. And then it caused a little step that people kept tripping over. So I pulled everything up and you have to remember where it all goes and relay it. This wasn't caused by roots, this was caused by lots of water draining down the drive and just sort of pooling in one area. I mean, it's fun when it goes well and it all sort of goes to plan and that last block goes in and you're like, yes, it all fits back together. But it's difficult. It's hard work. So you can see at the back there, I sort of I'm showing you all the footage from next week's video. There's not all the footage. It's going to be a long one, I think. This is just part of the this is just like one small section. It's going to be a massive project, to be fair. Before we pressure wash everything, this is Sophie's mum's house, and before we pressure wash the drive and all the rear patio and stuff, she wanted some of the areas relaying and roots pulling out and things, and it's a lot of work. It's tough. This music goes quite well with it. So with the backpack and brushing on hypo now, to now having the X-Jet, was the investment worth it? For big areas, I'd say the X-Jet is brilliant and it saves you a lot of time. But it does still require some setup. Like, it's still like 5 minutes to set up and then 5 minutes to disassemble and make sure you're not spilling hypo everywhere and drain the hose, and you know, it's on a small area, it's definitely not as controlled as the Gardner backpack. So I think for small areas, I'd probably still use the backpack, to be fair, or a watering can. And then bigger areas, definitely the X-Jet. In this sort of area was perfect for the X-Jet. I think this was about 80 square meters. Look at the reach on that. I don't know if I showed you guys this. I had to clean the neighbour's gutters out because the customer said, I'll pay for the neighbour's as well because she's an old girl. You'll have to knock on the door. She might take a while to get to the door, and then you'll have to go through the garage to go out the back. And I thought, to be fair, I want to see if I can reach from your garden. If anyone, Dave. Oh, you're going. I was just about to ask you a question. Have a good night, mate. If you're still listening, do you wash the inside of gutters at any point, and do you do like a flow test? Do you put a hose or like a watering can into the gutters to check that everything's flowing? I've been thinking about doing it, although like I've been confident that they're free flowing. I'm not sort of checking for leaks because I don't do like gutter repair. I feel like that's a different service, so I'm not necessarily checking for leaks anyway. But I feel like I'd have such more impressive pictures, like more impressive before and afters, if this was clean. Like, it's clear, but it's still not clean, is it? And it would be nice to, you know, to get them looking really nice, because that would have finished this picture off lovely if I'd have cleaned the insides of these gutters. But as it was, I just vacuumed them. I feel like it could potentially be a lot of extra time. I never wash the insides. I sometimes check to see if they're flowing, if the downpipe has been blocked. Yeah, because that's the issue, isn't it? If the downpipe's blocked and you vacuumed it out and unblocked it, you sort of want to check that you've done the job by unblocking it. But if they're sort of, there's not much in them anyway, chances of that downpipe being blocked is probably pretty slim. So does that warrant getting up there and doing like a flow test? I don't know, because it could potentially add quite a lot of time to the job. I resanded this one in the wet recently. I mean, I've done a whole video about this, so I don't know why I'm telling you again. But it didn't have to look different when that sand starts to like draw the moisture out from between the joints. It goes a different colour. Looks alright there, to be fair. By the way, see you, Dave. Thanks for watching. I had a message from Pure Seal the other day inviting me to their affiliate program. So I'm I'm going to be earning commission now from sales generated through my links. And to be fair, I've been promoting Pure Seal since I started using their products anyway for free, because I like them. Like, I like the products and I think they're good. And so it was quite like it's a no-brainer, really. So now, if you look in the link on my description in the last couple of videos, if you click this link and then purchase something, I'll earn commission on those purchases. And I think any future purchases of yours. So I'd really appreciate it if you're looking for, to be fair, I think for someone starting out, I want to recommend a couple of products straight off the bat. The first one, if you're doing like gutters and facies and stuff, would be the Synergy. I've literally just ordered some more 10 o'clock last night. So 20 litres of that, 58 quid, and that'll last ages because you dilute it really, it goes really well. That's like a degreaser, and it's, a lot of people use TFR on gutters and stuff, but I found that this melts all that green algae and stuff much better, and it rinses a lot quicker and easier. You get all the soap off quicker on the rinse down, quicker than TFRs that I've found. And you can use this with hypo, like you can add hypo into it as well. So I think this is like a really good, this isn't an advert, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for something to purchase to get your gutter cleaning going, I'd suggest this one. And then for pressure washing, it also says here all the surfaces that it's safe on. So if you're unsure, just check the categories. And you can shop by category. So over here, if you're looking for like graffiti removers, or if you're looking for something that is safe on tarmac, for example, tarmac cleaning products or sealing products. Like, I only just figured out that this was here in the last couple of weeks. Like, I didn't know these categories existed. I was just sort of aimlessly searching around the shop. But all these products now are suitable for cleaning tarmac. So that's good to know. I'm going to be using these a bit more from now on. So you got your Synergy, and then the next one would be the either Nuclear Pro, if they're still doing Nuclear Pro. There we go. So you can buy this. You can buy this in 20 litres. So this is hypo. For those of you that aren't too clued up on the chemicals just yet, Nuclear Pro is sodium hypochlorite, but it's already got the surfactant mixed into it. So it's got surfactant, wetting agents to sort of keep the surface wetter for longer to help the dwell. It's got a scent mask so it doesn't smell like horrible pool chlorine. And it's like naturally super foamy as it comes out of whatever you're applying it with. So that's like a ready to go, ready mixed hypo. So I'd recommend that because you can buy it in 20 litre tubs. Or they're doing a new, stronger version of that, which is called Nuclear Fallout, which is 13 to 15% hypo. But because of the percentage, because of how strong it is, and something to do with shipping, something to do with the shipping laws, it can't be shipped with domestic couriers. You can only order three 20 litre tubs at any one time, which is why it sort of looks more expensive. So Jason pays 26 quid for 20 litres. I think I pay 27 quid for 25 litres at a local farm shop. But then you could also, I don't have surfactant with that, so it's no good on its own, because it's just gonna, you'll apply it to the surface, it's not going to stay where it needs to stay to get rid of them black spots. It's going to fall between the joints and it's just going to sort of wash away. So if you're using a local hypo supplier but you're looking for a good surfactant, I order the Surf Boost from Pure Seal. This sounds like an advert. It's not. I'm literally just trying to, like, if you're getting into it and you want to make a couple of first purchases to get you going. So this one, you can dilute this 500ml or more, depending on how foamy you want it. 500ml per 25 litre barrel. So if you get a fresh 25 litre barrel, you can pour 500ml of this stuff in, which is £17.50 for 5 litres. So you can use this 10 times in 10 barrels of hypo to make it all nice and foamy and stuff, for £17.50. So I think this is a bit of a bargain, really. And if you don't want to have to worry about mixing your own stuff and worrying about how much to use and all that sort of stuff, I'd just go for the premix like Nuclear Pro or Nuclear Fallout. And I was struggling with this product for a while because I had the settings wrong on my XJet. I was it wasn't foaming up because I hadn't turned the revs down enough, but now I've done like 500ml in this barrel, and when it starts drawing the chemicals, now the foam starts coming through. So that first bit, then you pull the trigger, the water's coming through, the Venturi effect is then going to start pulling the chemicals down that hose, and then the chemicals start coming out, and it's then mixing at whatever ratio you've got your XJet set to. So in this case it's 5:1. EBC is good in hypo as well. EBC. And also, if you wanted to add some degreasing properties to this as well, you can mix Synergy and hypo together, and that will make it even more foamy, because like Synergy is naturally super foamy as well. What's EBC? EBC brakes. Is it a surfactant? Liquipack? Is it that one? Clever Wash? If you're old school, you put Fairy Liquid in it. Honestly, Craig, would Fairy Liquid do this through an XJet? And how much would you need to make it do that? If the answer is yes. Because I've always been curious about Fairy Liquid, but you've got to be really careful about the one that you choose, because if it's got the wrong thing in it, it can make like chlorine gas or something, and you'll probably die very quickly. Enviro Bio Cleaner. Oh, from Blastaway. Is this Lee? Is this Lee on Facebook? Blastaway. 2 squirts in 20 litres. It just foams up. Oh, nice. So what is this? Is this surfactant or cuts through grease? Can be mixed with sodium hypochlorite. Oh, so this is like a degreaser. and it's 37 quid for 5 litres. That seems like quite a lot. That seems expensive. So 20 litres is 140 quid. That seems expensive. What is this music? Like if you compare that to Synergy, which is 58 quid for 20 litres. But I've never used this product, so I don't know how good it is. I can vouch for Synergy because I use it a lot, so. I think I've missed some of your questions, I'm sorry. Let's go back up a little bit. I do a test flow every time. I do a flow test every time. It adds 15 minutes onto the job so the customer feels like they're getting value for money. I use my long reach pole. Good to know. Thanks, Jason. Wait, long reach pole? Like low pressure? I suppose I could just put a different jet on my pole, couldn't I? I could take the water fed brush off and put like a low pressure jet on it to just pop it in the gutter. I bet that's what you're doing, isn't it? That's an extra job. Emptying gutters and cleaning them are different jobs. Yep, you're totally right. Thanks for your advice. You'll be seeing me again for sure. No worries, George. See you, Dave. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your advice as well. Going to make a business plan this weekend. Thanks again. I'd worry less about the business plan and just start doing your research, looking at equipment, asking questions, put an equipment list together, figure out how much it's going to cost you to get going, and then do some research on how to quote and start doing jobs for friends and family. Friends and family is where it's at when you're starting, for sure. Steve, you're right, mate. Bit late today. Missed much? No. We watched your video earlier, though. Was it your video? Yeah, it was yours, wasn't it? Your sludgy steps. One more question before I go. Is this business seasonal? Yes, it's extremely seasonal. So you probably want to have a backup plan for winter, especially in your first year, because you're going to be very quiet. So either think about gutter cleaning, or some I'd recommend carpet cleaning, like indoor winter stuff, but it's so expensive to get into. I don't know if do people still do window cleaning through the winter? I think they probably do, so that might be an idea. I'll buy some. I have one that SCD recommends for soft washing. That's it. He used it on a patio and it cleared grease as well. I use your code. I only live 15-minute drive from Pure Seal away. I'm always nipping in to get chemicals. Oh, nice. It's not necessarily a code, it's just a link. So the link is in the description of my videos, and once you've clicked that link, it's then sort of valid on your purchases. But I'd appreciate that, thank you. And you can also order online on the Pure Seal website. You can order, and then instead of choosing delivery, you can choose to collect in store. Nuclear, that's cheap for 20 litres. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more expensive than just straight hypo, but it's not just straight hypo, it's got everything mixed in. And like, they've worked on it, they've done a lot of work on it to make sure that you get like maximum dwell times. And the new one says that you can do it as low as 1 to 6 dilution. Let me just double check what it says. I think the nuclear fallout sits on the surface for a lot longer, apparently. And so you can get away with lower dilution ratios. Or higher, depending on how you want to word it. Acts fast at low dilution ratios. So it says gives much better clean than standard hypo based products on the market. We recommend cleaning the surface first and then dilute 1 to 6. Allow to dwell for 30 minutes and don't allow it to dry out. Free delivery from Alliance. What's Alliance? You put 2 caps of TFR in your hypo. Is that like a known thing? And is it like caustic TFR or non-caustic? Are you not worried? Because I don't know what's in stuff like TFR. I have no idea. And it worries me mixing stuff with hypo just in case it reacts. I use Clever Clean, but it's very expensive. It's hard to find a good soap. Ow. I think I paid 28 quid for 20 litres of hypo plus 26 for surfactant. Cheaper to buy the nuclear. Yeah, the only thing is the surfactant will last a lot longer. So you can use it on more. So it's about weighing up like how many barrels of hypo can I get out of this one tub of surfactant. South Wales Exterior Cleaning says, hi bud, I recently done a soft wash on Pebble Dash property. The customer had black staining on the walls. I assume it was algae growth, but it's been a few months now. Hypo and biocide done its job, but black stains are still there. I'm assuming it's carbon. What would you suggest? Honestly, not my area of expertise at all. Not that I'm an expert in anything really. What else could it be if it's not? What dilution did you do your biocide? And how soon after? What was the weather like when you applied the biocide? And how long ago was it? Sorry, there's a few questions there. Render treatments and sealers. I'm looking for like... I don't know if they've got like Pebble Dash. I'm guessing it's similar to how you'd clean I'm blanking. Resin. Where's resin? I saw it just. Not resin, bond. Render. Sorry. I didn't mean resin, I meant render. Clicked on the wrong thing. Render, treatments and sealers. Render stain treatments. Concrete and grout remover. You could try Smelly Gel Pro, to be fair. Smelly Gel might be a good idea for stubborn stains. Designed to remove rust stains. I'm sure it removes other stains as well. Highly effective at removing oxidization. I'm sure I've seen people remove other sorts of stains with this as well. I don't know, you might want to ring Pure Seal and ask them what they'd recommend. What's your code, buddy? I'll try Synergy now. Thank you, Jason. It's actually in the link. I'm sure you've already heard me say it. It's this link here in the description of my newer videos. Let me see if I can stick it in the chat. So if anyone's looking for any chemicals or sealers, click that link, then make your purchase. I get a bit of kickback from that. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Tap into commercial work in winter. Yeah, I mean, if you're not a very established business, it's quite difficult to get. Into commercial work because you've not really got a portfolio that people can look at. That's the only problem I found. I made that mistake. First time I ever used Hypo. Just bought the cheapest dish soap I could find. Ever since then, I've just used Nuclear Pro. Nice. Yep, from the tap, using the water-fed pole with a screw-on jet. I want to have a look at what Gardner brushes and fittings. Parts and fittings. I don't necessarily want a brush. I just want like a... I think I got one from the Pure Seal course, actually. I think they've given me one. It's just like a high flow jet that I need. I don't know. How far out is your radius for working, Monkey? It depends on the size of the job. I tell people will ask me, like, do you travel to such and such place? And it might be an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And I always tell them, like, give me your full address and send me some good pictures. And if the job is big enough and it's worth the travel, then I'll come and do it. But if it's a small job, I'm gonna charge you for travel. Like I'm gonna charge you for the time that I'm in the van and also the fuel. And it just doesn't seem worth it on a small job. You know what I mean? It will be in the gooseneck fittings, window cleaning warehouse, sell the nozzles. Thank you. Angle adapters with swivel. These are worth looking into as well, these gutter scoops. If you want to do it manually. Thank you, AC pressure washers. Your message will pop up in a minute, I reckon. I can't find it. AC Pressure Washers has donated £5 and they've said, who reckons Smelt should come and play with one of our rocket wash systems? Because we do. Can you explain the rocket wash system? Because they look very impressive. It's essentially, I think it's a V-twin with a big pump. I think it's got a boiler on it. And I think it's got the 2 hose reels, low pressure, high pressure. You can just pull them both out. And they look like a serious bit of kit, to be fair. Thank you for the donation. There it is. That took a while to come through, didn't it? Thank you so much. Best thing I bought since started is an over 8 pole. Everyone recommends the over 8. How different is the over 8 to another carbon fiber pole? You know what I mean? Like, actually, how different is it? What makes it special? Why is everyone recommending this pole? And how much does it cost? So I was looking at an equivalent, like the one from Gutter Vacuum Systems. 345, 414 including VAT, so this one is definitely more expensive. I wonder why it's better. And a leaf blower. Yeah, leaf blowers are good. I like my little leaf blower. Although it's my leaf blower from Screwfix is starting to make some noises. It's the Titan leaf blower from Screwfix. It's this one. Cheapest one they've got. Yeah, it's starting to... there's like a ringing sound coming from the engine. Who's using it like that, really? Is that for the... Wait, is it sucking there? Is that a bag on the back and it's sucking? Can you spin it round so it... That looks like a totally different machine. It sucks as well. This one does. How? I'll have to have a look at that. So I got all these little adapters and fittings for it, and I just shove them straight in the shed. I just use it like this. Should we have a look at the rocket wash? Look at these big beefy boys. El Diablo. El Diablo del Fuego. Satellite heavy cleaning, 300 bar, 27 litres per minute. I guess this is 27 litres per minute. This one's the daddy, isn't it? Is that the same engine that I've got? The 630, or is that the 660? I think it says 630. It does look very neat, doesn't it? All that metal. All that tubing. I've been intrigued by these little handles here to adjust the pressure. So I saw PWS does a similar thing with that, with the little handle. And is that similar to like an unloader valve? It's just a different way of adjusting it. Because I feel like the unloader valve is a little bit clumsy. It's a little bit tight and clunky and just not very, I don't know. Also, I need to fit a PSI gauge on my pump, like desperately, because I need to know what I'm running at. They all make noise. I know they make noise. The leaf blowers, I know they're very loud, but mine started to make this like ringing noise, like there's something metal like flying around in the fan. Maybe the fan's a bit loose on the engine. Maybe I just need to tighten some nuts. Got mine from B&Q. I was looking for the X-Jet from Rutland Pumps, but I can't find it. Do they sell it? It doesn't look like they sell it anymore. But AC pressure washers sell the X-Jet now. I don't know why I said now. They've sold the X-Jet for a long time. I saw. Is it Foam Cannon? Is that Rutland Pumps? Who does the Foam Cannon? Someone in my Discord got it the other day. And I can't remember where they got it from. Profoma. I can't find it. Is it Rutland Pumps? Hey, there it is. The Pro Foam. Jeez, that took too long. So I'm guessing this does a very similar thing to the X-Jet. I don't know how you adjust the dilution ratio on these though. In the X-Jet, you've got a little thing that goes into the bottom of it, and you can change the dilution with that. But here they've got a few different ones. They've got the quick release one, which is the one I would use. Actually, not anymore. I'd use the Q one now because AC Pressure Washers sent me out a new Q spigot ST 2600 gun, which I like. See you, mate. Have a good night. Thanks for popping in. Got mine from B&Q. It's a McAllister one. Really light and the grip is better. My advice is to buy the STIHL, the Stihl, when your Titan packs up. Expensive, but you won't ever have to buy it again. I see this brand a lot. They do lots of tree surgery equipment, don't they? And it seems to be like the go-to, and it's orange. BG86. Big boy. 385 quid. They do cheaper ones. Yeah. Do you think my Titan one will pack up? If it does, I think I've got a decent warranty on that. And you can. The good thing about the Titan stuff is you can literally just walk back into Screwfix and they'll give you a new one. As long as you got your receipt, obviously. Skyback, great bit of kit, sucks and blows, ideal for blowing down pipes. That's the only thing I wish my Panther did, is blow as well. Even my Titan wet and dry vac, that had a blow setting on it as well, and that was very useful. It's a needle valve, it's quite precise for pressure change, ideal for steam cleaning. Okay, that clears that up, thank you. Oh. Sorry, I am trying to keep up with all your messages. I'm very sorry. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. This is very I really am grateful that there's like constantly like 30 to 40 people watching. And I'm grateful of all your questions and your comments and stuff that I can keep referring to. I've got bits that I can talk about, like written down, but it's nice to be able to just chat, and you guys seem engaged because you're sticking around. So I really do appreciate everyone watching. Thank you. And I hope you're learning something, or you find it entertaining, or hope it's useful. It's the pull start that makes the ringing sound. Take it back under warranty. Ooh, the Lawn Ranger. I'm guessing you do a lot of this sort of stuff. The pull start is making the ringing sound. So is it... So it's not like a wear and tear thing. That shouldn't happen, is what you're saying. I'm going to buy a battery powered one. I'll get a spare battery, not quite as noisy. Can't be arsed with the petrol one. Heavy, noisy, a lot more to go wrong. Yeah, I'm just not sure about with battery powered stuff. I'm never sure about power. The cost of the batteries, like battery powered stuff, always seems really expensive and underpowered compared to other stuff. And I'd hate, the worst thing would be to be on site and you're halfway through a job and the battery dies. And with fuel, with an engine powered leaf blower, you can just refill it with fuel that you've got in the van. But when your batteries die, you've got nothing to replace it with. You just need to go home and recharge it, and like that would... I like to have options if I run out. Do you know what I mean? That foam's hypo and bio without surfactant, I think. Craig, are you sure? The biocide, I think the way it's formulated is naturally gloopy and bubbly. And so you don't need to add anything to biocide to make it foam. But with hypo, I doubt this foam nozzle would make... I might be wrong, but I doubt that would... Oh, it's a UK design and built proportional foam nozzle. Accurately dosed chemicals. I mean, that's a great advert. It's all the things you want to hear. A proportional foam nozzle, accurately dosed chemicals, minimal drift, increased dwell time, designed for aggressive chemicals. Like that, I think that write-up is really good. It's a very attractive product when you read it, and it looks pretty cool as well. I'm just going to skip a couple of questions because I've just noticed Andy's asked, what's your top 5 tips for using hypo? Put some glasses on, some sort of goggles or safety glasses, because when you're maneuvering a big barrel of hypo around, there's a good chance you're going to splash it. Even if you think you're not, if you think you're going to pour it into like a measuring jug, or you're going to pour it into a watering can, or you're gonna splash it. It's gonna splash. 5-litre jugs like aren't as difficult, but if you're doing a 20-litre or a 25-litre barrel and you're trying to pour it into something, it will glug. It's the glug. You might be accurate with your pour, but as soon as that glug hits, it's going to go everywhere. And I've had it in my face before, and it's terrifying. Luckily, I had water right next to me that I could quickly grab the tap and wash it off my skin. But it's very scary. You don't I think so. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for watching, mate. Don't take it for granted. Don't underestimate it. Treat it with respect. Mix it with surfactant. So if you're just using hypo, it's not going to do what you want it to do. It's not going to foam up, and it's not going to dwell on the surface for long enough. It's not going to sit where you want it to sit without surfactant in it. So either buy Nuclear Pro from Pure Seal, or mix your own surfactant in it. Else you're wasting hypo. You're going to spray hypo on the surface, and it's not going to do what you want it to do. That's 2 tips. Ideally, you want to, if you're going to atomize it, if you're going to like spray it, ideally you want breathing protection. You want some sort of mask, because it is very strong. It smells really strong. So warn the customer. That's another tip. Warn the customer, I'm about to put some chemicals down. It's very strong, so I don't want anyone walking outside. Don't come outside while I've got the chemicals down. I'll let you know when it's safe to come out. Ask them if they've got any pets. Allow it to dwell for at least 20 to 30 minutes for best results. Then rinse it off, and then tell the customer, probably don't walk on it, certainly don't let your pets on it for at least an hour or 2. Essentially what it does after like an hour is it starts to turn to salt, I believe, because it's sodium hypochlorite, and once it's reacted with water and then it's dried, it turns into salt. And so it's actually not as harmful to the environment as you might think. Yes, it will bleach grass, and yes, it will probably kill plants, mostly down to the salt that goes into the soil. You shouldn't be listening to me on this. I don't know. I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. I'm literally just regurgitating information that I've picked up along the way. That's like 4 tips, surely. Any other tips for applying hypo? On a small area, use a watering can. On a big area, X-Jet. Soak the grass, that's a good one, Simon. Soak the grass and the plants before application. You want to drench everything in the surrounding area. And if you're splashing it near wood, if you're getting it near fence panels or decking or fancy garden furniture or whatever, you want to wet that down and keep it wet. So with the X-Jet, you've got a little it's not on that one. Okay, with the X-Jet that I got from Rutland Pumps, it's got a little switch to stop drawing chemicals, and that's what I use when I notice it splashing on surfaces I don't want it on. I turn that switch, and then I'm just spraying water at quite a low pressure, and I'm diluting the chemicals that have gone where they shouldn't. And another good tip, if you're doing a driveway, like a block paved driveway, and the hypo is running down off of the blocks onto tarmac, onto the road or onto the path, you're going to want to dilute that as quickly as possible before it starts bleaching the tarmac. Because if there's any organic staining, if there's any organic growth on that tarmac, the tarmac's going to discolor. It's going to go it's going to look like you've bleached the tarmac. I don't think you're actually bleaching the tarmac. I think you're bleaching the stuff that's growing in the aggregate. But once you see it sort of pouring down onto the path, you're going to want to hose that down, and just keep hosing it. Just keep plenty of water going over that surface, and it's not going to react with whatever's in the tarmac then, because else what happens then, if you don't do that, is you'll rinse everything down and you'll come back like a couple of days later to resand, and you'll notice the driveway looks beautiful, but the path in front of the house has got like a white stain on it. That could just be salt. Now that I think about it. No, it's not, because then it would wash off with rain. I don't have an XJet yet. Gardener backpack. Yes, Andy, you could use a gardener backpack. Wash it out thoroughly after you use it. For those of you that don't know what that is, I've used a gardener backpack to apply chemicals for the last 12 months and it's still working fine. And this is a bargain. This is one of the best investments that I've made for my business. I can apply chemicals through it. I can use it to wash gutters, fascias and soffits. I can put degreasers through it. It's a really, really good bit of kit. And if you spec it right, with the right couplings, you can attach it to your water-fed pole. You can attach it to the customer's one of these. You can attach them to the customer's water supply. Really good setup. What brush do you use with your water-fed pole if you want to apply hypo and scrub it in? I used the one that came with it, and that was... Where's brushes gone? I use the Ultimate Soft Medium. This is just the one I ordered with the pole, and it was great. I had that with the 2 50 degree fan jets, and I thought that was perfect for hypo, biocide, and then washing the gutters, fascias and soffits and conservatory roofs and stuff. I had found that the bristles are a bit short to get underneath the gutters though, and so I've recently changed, although I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I've recently changed to a flocked one of these because the bristles are longer. One of these, look. The bristles are longer and they bend up under the gutters, and you can get a deeper clean under them gutters. The only problem is I think it's a bit soft. It's a flocked brush, medium soft, but I do think it's softer than the other one because the bristles aren't as short, and so I'm not sure it's as effective at scrubbing stuff. But you're not going to scratch stuff with this, whereas I'd be concerned with the other one potentially scratching stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I might be talking rubbish. Saline eye kit in the van. I've got a bleach. I got bleach in my eye about 3 months ago. No way. That's scary, isn't it? Was it okay? Because I found something weird. I found that I've splashed hypo on my arm a couple of times. Diluted hypo and hypo diluted with water and surfactant, and then pure hypo as well. I've splashed on my skin and it hasn't done anything. There was no sensation of burning or anything, no scar, no. So I don't know. I'm sure it's not good for your eye, but like, is it? Maybe it's just because I washed it off straight away, so it didn't have time to like react or whatever. But it was definitely very scary. Thanks for watching, Craig. I might have already said bye, but if I didn't, thanks for watching. Free Tip UK says you still live. Sorry. Joined at the start, been for a mile swim and came back to watch the replay, and here you are still going. Oh, nice. Thanks for coming back and saying hi. Keeping the saline kit in the van saved me from going blind in one eye. There was a drop that hit me from the hose when I took it off the XJet. Oof, that is scary, man. Have you ever had hypo in the eye I have stung for like 5 days. No way. I've not had it in the... Sorry, I have had it in my eye. But I had a tap next to me and washed it straight off. And I was fine. Although I did have like an ache. I had an ache in my eye for like the next 24 hours. But I thought the ache was just caused by how much I was rubbing it to make sure that I'd washed it all out. So I'm not sure whether that was due to like me doing that or due to the hypo. Jason, thanks for watching. Have a good night, mate. Get a chemical mask. Oh, by the way, I've got a mask from Pure Seal, which I bought on the course. I've got this one, and I found with this one, it's great, it's comfortable, like it does everything I want it to do. But when I try and put glasses or goggles, because the nose thing is so bulky, it pushes my goggles up, so my goggles are like here. So I either can't see, or the goggles are pointless because they've got like a gap underneath them. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this. It's more expensive, but I think it might be worth it. I'm looking at this. What do people think of that? It's just easy then. I won't be able to wear my hat with it because I normally wear like a flat cap or just like a trucker's cap. I could turn the cap backwards potentially. Because when I'm pressure washing, if you go up near a corner and stuff, you get all stuff in the air and it all goes in your hair and it's all horrible. So I try and wear a hat if I can. Cooking meth. Walter White, yeah. It does look like a meth mask, but I think that would solve all my issues. And you'd look like an absolute badass, wouldn't you? Your customer would think, God, I'm definitely not going out there if he's wearing that. Like, it must be dangerous, you know what I mean? It'd probably make you look a lot more professional, to be fair. I think I've missed some messages. I know I keep apologising, but I don't like missing stuff. Because you guys take time to write these messages and I want to make sure I catch them all. Dry time, how long do you leave it on? When to wash it off? Leave it on 20 to 30 minutes. We've already answered that, sorry. Nice, I've got the one you recommended before, so I'll give that a try. I found that this brush with the same jets, the 50-degree fan jets, I think they touch the brush. I might cut some bristles out because I don't get a nice spray like I do with the other brush that I had. So I might have to trim some of the stuff back. Jake, I've seen your advert for pressure washing. I wondered if you would be interested in jet washing our back patio. Yes, Jeremy. Yes, I would. Bear with me. I'm just going to listen. Just going to listen to a message from Sophie. 2 secs. Sorry about that. I've actually gone for a triple cheeseburger as well as the McFlurry, so She offered. Just had another quote come in at like 10 o'clock at night via text. That quote actually has come through from posting on a local community page. So obviously your town and the surrounding towns have their like community pages, and a lot of them will let you post your business adverts. And I met a waste collector guy the other day, and he absolutely swears by the business pages. He said literally 80% of my work come from these local business pages, and then the jobs that I do, other people are recommending me from them, and it's literally 80% of my business. So worth doing if you're just starting out. Probably I might do an experiment this week, and because I only literally posted on one page just to see how it went, and so I might try more. The JSP Typhoon. What a name for a mask. Oh, two tool stations sell it. That looks pretty sick, actually. I feel like that one looks even better. Don't that look cool? Does that doesn't have the filters on it though, so is that gonna protect me from the same sort of stuff? Press to check. I've heard of that, but I don't know what it means. The filter user can press to check filters so the user can feel reassured of an excellent fit. I guess it means you're checking to see that there's no like air gaps or something. They have different filters. Yeah, Neil. I'm looking to add a backpack and brush to the van. Could you make a quick basket of what you have? Yes. Just for info, and everyone probably knows, only use grit sand / sharp sand under paving. Yeah, so if you're gonna relay block paving like I've been doing today, sharp sand, not kiln dried. Let's see if we can put this together for you. I wonder if I can share my cart with you afterwards. Probably not. So I went for the CLX 22, which has been fine for me. 22 feet is actually like pretty high. Absolutely fine for residential stuff. So I had the CLX 22. I had the free gooseneck. No, it wasn't a goose. It was just a quick lock. Do I have the goose? Is that a goose? That's what I've got. I don't think that is a goosey boy. I think that's just normal. Quick lock angle adapter. I think it's that. The brush was a Ultimate 26 medium soft mixed. The jets were 50-degree fan jets. The pole hose was a 10-meter Ultraflex hose. The connector was a Easy Snap male plug. Yeah, it was that one. No, it was the hose lock type male plug, which is the metal one, I think. I'm just going to double check that. I think it's good to check these adapters because they obviously sell the adapters. So it's worth making sure you've got the right ones. Thanks, Andy. Have a good night, mate. When your filter's no good, it doesn't make a clicking noise. Ah, that's useful. Goosenecks and pole fittings. I don't think that's what I want, is it? I want adapters. Hose fittings I want. Hose and fittings, here we go. Oh, Sophie's getting me a triple cheesy. Nice. I've got one of these, but I've not put it on yet. I've not used it. So this is what... No, it's not. Ignore me. Garden hose type couplings. This is what I've got. Okay, so this is what I've got on the Aquastop is the one that I've got on the Gardener backpack. I'm struggling to find the one that I've got. I thought it'd be on the garden type. What have they called it? Hose lock male. Anti-snag. Oh, I'm an idiot. It is this. It's literally this. The 8mm. It looks different without... Because the end is hidden by the hose. It's this. So... It is the... I've just got rid of what I was looking at, haven't I? Damn it. Anti-snag male. 10 meters of hose. 50-degree fan jets. Medium soft mixed. And the free adapter comes in at 186 quid plus VAT. That's for the pole and the brush. And then I've got the backpack V3. Probably. Is the length of the brush overkill? Could you get away with shorter? The length of the pole, you mean, or the length of the width of the brush? I think 22 foot. 22 foot is like one of the smaller ones. I probably wouldn't go any shorter than that personally. If you want to do residential stuff, I wouldn't go any shorter than 22. I think 22 is perfect for me. So I've got the gardener backpack, and I've stuck the female Easy Snap. No, I've got the Aquastop hose lock type, extra tenor. Kleber, oh sorry, yeah, Kleber Aquastop. Let me just check that that's the one I think it is. Yes, it's that orange one there. 132 quid plus VAT. And that's literally all I bought from Gardener. And now you can start cleaning windows with pure water. You can start cleaning gutters, fascias, soffits. You can start cleaning cladding on the side of industrial units. You can start cleaning conservatories. You can start cleaning solar panels. Like, honestly, I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of this just so that I can move off it without you losing it. Honestly, this opens up so much. You can start applying chemicals to different surfaces and stuff. This opens up so much. Thoroughly recommended. Oh, nice. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. We've done 3 hours and 11 minutes. I think that's a good stream. Like I said before, if any of you guys intend on purchasing anything from Pure Seal, any of their training courses, any of their PPE, any of their sealers or chemicals, please use my link, which is in the description of my videos here, and I get some commission from your purchases. I'd really appreciate if you did that. If you're going to buy the products anyway, you might as well use my link. Again, boosted members have 150 images to use. Hello.
Hello.
There's 150 images in the boosted members tier if you join on YouTube, and then circle members and above, you can get access to our private Discord where we all help each other, and I think it's very worthwhile for anyone who's just getting started or anyone who's just looking for a community to join. Can't end without showing this the McFlurry. I've got a cheesy as well. Thank you so much. I was swimming.
Good. I'm so hungry. I'm just gonna go sit in bed and eat. Okay.
You're gonna eat in bed.
Yeah. Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
I'm gonna come with you.
Can you let go out, please? I literally can't. I haven't got the energy.
Have you got my McFlurry? Oh, it's here. Nice. It's just a plain one, boys. Just a plain flurry. Hot apple pie. Crunch it inside. Crunch it inside. Mix it together. The world's your oyster. Triple cheesy. Yeah, what we got going on? We got the boosted pack. We got the and then we've also got my quoting tool. If any of you guys are struggling for quoting, struggling to work out the quoting side of things, this tool will help you out. Smout.club. Have a look. Hit join on the channel to get access to the Discord. And thank you for the donations. Thank you for the subs. Have a wonderful night, everyone. I really appreciate you all. Perfect time for an advert. Nice. Right, I'm going. See you in a bit. Why is this a Christmas song? Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.